Hello, family. It's good to be able to visit with you again. Good to be able to talk to you. It's looking forward to a time when we can come together and visit face to face and have fellowship together. These are different times. That old saying, it's the best of times, it's the worst of times. I guess it just depends on how much cabin fever you have right now and whether or not you're having to homeschool your children, even though you may not be a teacher. Remember, you love them. Don't think otherwise. These are difficult times. We're being told to stay inside. We're being told we need to go outside and get fresh air. We're being told to wear a mask. We're being told to stay away from other people. Just different times, things we've never been through. And I started thinking about trials and times and things that have happened through the biblical age and down through history. And one of the things that I remember talking about when I first accepted the appointment of elder is that this book, the Bible, was a book that was written to transform the world, but also to be fluid and to be pertinent to all generations from when it was written up until the time that we are in eternity in heaven. And I started thinking about what places in the Bible is talked about with trials, and I came up with James. And I read James a lot. James is, an older gentleman once told me that James is the part of the Bible written by a working man for a working man. And so I lean on James a lot. But James chapter 1, starting in verse 2. Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him. But when he asks, he must believe and not doubt, because he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That man should not think he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all he does. The brother in humble circumstances ought to take pride in his high position, but the one who is rich should take pride in his low position, because he will pass away like a wild flower. I've always found that interesting, where it talks about the brother, the brother that is rich should take pride in his low position. And I started thinking about that. It's like, what does that mean? We know that, and we're going to read here in James chapter 2 that blessed are those that are poor, for God made the kingdom for them and for us. But God has a special place in his heart for the poor. But why would the rich have a humble position? And I started thinking, and the more I read, the more I realized the rich should be serving the poor. Just like Jesus, who was rich in everything, came and served us. As we turn over to James chapter 2, I'm going to have a little bit of a lengthy reading here, but let's go through that together. James chapter 2, the first 13 verses, it says, My brothers, as believers in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ, don't show favoritism. Suppose a man comes into your meeting wearing a gold ring and fine clothes, and a poor man in shabby clothes also comes in. If you show special attention to the man wearing the fine clothes and say, Here is a good seat for you, but say to the poor man, You stand there, or sit on the floor at my feet, have you not discriminated among yourselves and become judges with evil thoughts? Listen, my dear brothers, has not God chosen those who are poor in the eyes of the world to be rich in faith and to inherit the kingdom he promised to those who love him? But you have insulted the poor. Is it not the rich who are exploiting you? Are they not the ones who are dragging you into court? Are they not the ones who are slandering the noble name of him to whom you belong? If you really keep the royal law found in Scripture, love your neighbor as yourself, you are doing right. But if you show favoritism, you sin and are convicted by the law as lawbreakers. For whoever keeps the whole law and yet stumbles at just one point is guilty of breaking all of it. For he who said, Do not commit adultery, also said, Do not commit murder. If you do not commit adultery but do commit murder, you have become a lawbreaker. Speak and act as those who are going to be judged by the law that gives freedom, because judgment without mercy will be shown to anyone who has not been merciful. Mercy triumphs over judgment. And so you're wondering, okay, how does this portray to the trials we're having, the things we're going through right now? And what's on my mind right now is yes, there's a lot of trials. We're seeing people become sick with the COVID-19 coronavirus. We're seeing people that are having to adjust their lifestyles to working at home. What we're not seeing as much of, but I think we will in the near future, is people that have lost their jobs, people that have fallen on hard times as the economy continues to be affected by this. And I think it's our job to be ready for this. This is a time for us to let the gospel of Jesus Christ shine. First, by feeding and caring for those in need and meeting their needs physically, so that they can tell that Jesus is there to meet their needs spiritually. It says in James chapter 1, verse 12, it says, "Blessed is the man who perseveres under trial, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him." I believe that as Christians we're being tested, and I believe that that test is about to become exponentially harder as the next few weeks and months go on, because there's going to be individuals that may not look like us. They may not speak like us. They may have had a harder life than us, and it's going to be our turn to help them. And it's going to be our turn to come alongside them and lift them up, show them the love of Christ. I want to close with Matthew chapter 5, and it's the Beatitudes. It's how we should be towards others and towards those that we love and those that Christ loved. "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil things against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." Family, we continue to pray for you. We continue to lift you up. We want you to know that we want you to come to us and let us know what your needs are. Let us help you meet those. We want you to know that not only do we need to be prepared to speak and feed those that come to us asking for help, but we also need to be able to give them good words of comfort and show them spiritual food from Jesus. God bless you.